Hi everyone, this is Terri Pace and welcome to today's episode of Tuesdays at 2 with me. Our topic today is all about sugar, right? Sugar feels like our friend, offers us comfort and respite. The term sugar is used to describe any kind of food that is a simple carbohydrate, right? They cause your body to release insulin. Refined sugars, things like candy, baked goods, white flour, produce a bigger insulin rush. The complex carbohydrates like vegetables and whole grains are released slowly, right? Sugar, right? The release of this can sometimes act as a natural painkiller, a stress reliever, and a mood uplifter. Sometimes they give us a boost of energy and make us feel better. And there's not only these physical reactions, there's also psychological associations that maybe you've carried from childhood, right? Sugar in the form of candy and treats can remind us of like the reward system. I don't know if you've ever had that in your family, but certainly I did, where we were rewarded with a sweet treat if we ate all the vegetables on our plate or something like that. It is something that, is considered an incentive for good behavior sometimes, right? And so we end up with this, relationship with sugar, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. 1 teaspoon of sugar, right? In the words of the Mary Poppins movie, right? 1 teaspoon of sugar makes the medicine go down. A teaspoon of sugar is very visible to us, right? We'll add it intentionally to our coffee, tea, or hot or cold cereal. Where else do you add a teaspoon of sugar? What about when you bake, right? We'll add it to muffins, cake recipes, tarts, and pies. Think about it. Where do you add sugar, right? And even if maybe you're not adding sugar specifically, it's already there, right? So when we start looking at the label, how do you know how much sugar you're actually taking, right? So if you divide the number of grams of sugar by 4, it'll help you calculate the number of teaspoons in a serving. So when you're looking at this nutrition fact label, right, in this example, it has 11 grams of sugar, right? That's almost 3 teaspoons in a single serving. 3 teaspoons, right? Imagine just putting 3 teaspoons in your mouth, right? That's a lot of sugar, right? The label focuses our intention, right? This is required that we put the calories from fat, right? So total calories are 120. The calories from fat would be 45 in this example, right? That's because we want to stay within a range of 25 to 35 of saturated fats, being less than 10, right? So total fat, 25 to 35% of your diet, and saturated fat, less than 10%, right? So, but what about calories from sugar, right? I want you to think about that, right? So each teaspoon of sugar is 4 grams and 16 calories. So in this particular example, there's 44 calories from sugar, right? It's the 2.75 times 16 calories each, right? That's 37% of your calories that came from sugar. Right, in this example, and when you look at it, you think 11 grams. Oh, that's not so big, right? Americans should keep their intake of added sugars to less than 10% of their total daily calories as part of a very healthy diet, right? So in, let's say, a 2,000 calorie diet per day, no more than 200 calories should come from added sugar. And so let's look at how much sugar we ingest with products that are just around us and being ingested without even noticing it. right? So what about, you know, a bottle of, you know, soda? They call it pop or Coca-Cola, right? Right, so one teaspoon of sugar is equal to 4 grams, right? And so 65 grams of sugar is 17 teaspoons of sugar in a 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola, right? Like, that'll put you over your limit for the whole day, right? And any sugar that's not used by the body gets stored as fat. And plus, you know, your dentist will tell you this excess sugar will increase your risk of dental plaque, right? And so this is something we should look to avoid with all costs. So you might say, well, I don't really drink soda, you know, but what are you drinking, right? What about the sugar that's added to lots of other things? So whether it's a Snapple or maybe you're, you know, drinking Gatorade, like, there's still a lot of teaspoons of sugar, right? And then sugar can be really sneaky, right? Even when we don't add it, it's already everywhere, right? Even when it doesn't need to be in it, right? Like, so one of my observations was how much sugar they put in those little cups of yogurt, right? And like, it's just incredible how, like, it could be anywhere from 15 to 20 grams of sugar in that little container, right? It like completely blows your sugar budget for the day just with that one thing, right? It's in cereals and salad dressings and commercial condiments like your ketchup and your mustard. It's even in bread, right? And like, there's some statistics, right? In the 18th century, the annual sugar consumption was less than 5 pounds. In the 19th century, it was calculated at 20 pounds. In the 20th century, it went up to 90 pounds. And in this 21st century, it was approximately 180 pounds being consumed every single year by the average American. That's just way too much. How else is it sneaky? Well, they'll put the ingredient list and they disguise it with lots of different cryptic names, right? But you can notice it with all the OSE as the end of the word, right? Fructose, glucose, dextrose, saccharose, right? All of them are a form of sugar. And I want to talk a little bit about a very highly addictive form, high fructose corn syrup, right? It contains an unbound fructose and glucose, right? And so your body doesn't really need to break it down. So it's absorbed straight into your liver, right? It's actually, it acts on your liver more like alcohol than it does a sugar, right? In terms of, you know, how it's immediately converted into fat, not fuel, right? According to Dr. McCullough, fructose tricks the body into gaining weight by fooling your metabolism, right? He was explaining that fructose turns off your appetite control system, right? So I want you to think about, you know, maybe, you know, there are some things that have high fructose corn syrup that if you didn't intentionally say, I have to stop eating this, there's no shutoff valve, right? You just keep eating those chocolate chip cookies or maybe, you know, another slice of bread because it tastes so good, right? That's part of the, you know, mechanism, right? You have this mechanism inside your body when something is overly sweet, you release a chemical that says, oh God, no, I don't want any more. Okay? But, you know, if you're using this kind of fabricated form of sugar, high fructose corn syrup, that appetite suppressant is that control system doesn't work, right? So the factors, you know, of sugar kind of work to disrupt your metabolism, they disrupt your digestion, right? And even in the series by Ty Bollinger, The Truth About Cancer, right? He called sugar cancer's favorite building block, right? So where else is sugar a little sneaky? Like, so there's some fruits that are extremely high in their sugar content. And so, you know, it's metabolized very quickly, the natural sugar, so that's a good thing. But if you're trying to monitor how much sugar you're taking in, you want to just be aware, right? Bananas and watermelon, pineapple, mangoes, things, grapes, right? These are, ways that we get a high glycemic index, right? So instead, choose like a green apple, raspberries, strawberries, green apples. These are lower in the glycemic index and are a little bit healthier for you when you're trying to manage your sugar. So what are some of the long-term and short-term effects, right? And so the immediate effect of sugar is temporary, right? Within 30 minutes, your system, uses up all those feel-good chemicals, right? You go from the sugar high to like the sugar crash, just like that, right? The result makes you feel tired, irritable, and down, and then you want to experience it again, right? And so, now you're craving that piece of candy, you drink another soda, that process continues to repeat itself, and over time, the body becomes conditioned to these super highs, right? It's this long-term, very devastating effect to your body, right? Sugar really is the enemy. Like they used to call it a treat because it was something that you had once in a while. It wasn't something that you were meant to ingest every single day. And not only does refined sugar provide nothing in the way of vitamins, minerals, proteins, or fats, right? It's like empty calories. It raids your body of what it actually does have, right? Did you know that consuming sugar causes the brain to release dopamine, right? It's the same neurotransmitter that's linked with cocaine use, right? So we're getting that dopamine rush. Dr. Maritza Snyder, much gratitude to her. She has a lot of information on her website and in her webinars that she actually described it this way. She's like, it boosts you into this momentary energy high, drops you like a ton of bricks, and leaves you craving for more. Sugar is like the bad boyfriend your mom warned you about, but you date him anyway. I just thought that was pretty cute, right? So long-term consequences, right? You could have this increased appetite, insomnia, brain fog, depression, hormone imbalance, right? All with, too high of a sugar consumption. We also have yeast overgrowth, right? We have yeast that is in our body. It's meant to be there at 1 part per million. It helps with certain functions, right? Particularly after you die, it helps break down your body. Right? But what does yeast survive on? Well, you guessed it, sugar, right? And so, we have this same issue with people who have maybe a yeast overgrowth, right? And so if these consequences aren't enough to get your attention, simple sugars cause 2 to 4 hours of increased inflammation coupled with immune suppression, right? So it's like, Dr. Jessica Herzog shared a study where, the autoimmune suppression is highest during the first hour or 2 after eating simple carbs, and it is still evident up to 5 hours later, right? And so think of like a typical day. She's a pediatrician, so she was talking about our children. So she's like, you feed them breakfast. Usually it's cereal or sugar, right? That's, laden with sugar. You send them off to school. Then they give them some kind of sugary snack or sugary drink, like those little juice boxes. And, so the suppression is high. And just as it's starting to come down, they have it again. And then just as it's coming down, they have lunch, maybe, with a sandwich that has bread and high fructose corn syrup. And then it goes back up again. And then they finally come home from school, and what do? They reach in the snack cabinet for a Pop-Tart, a yogurt, or, peanut butter and crackers or something like that, right? And so they've been immune suppressed all day long, right? And we wonder why, it's so easy for them to get sick, right? With less sugar, we can say goodbye to all of these issues, right? now that I've got you thinking, wow, I'd really like to feel better by reducing or eliminating sugar from my diet. Let's talk about some simple things that you can do to help support that goal. So, here's one more thing, right? Sugar has zero nutritional value, right? And, it's something that is empty of vitamins and minerals and very destructive to your health, right? You control how much water you drink, what you think about, what you say to yourself, what you eat, what you decide to change, right? And so if we eat less carbonated drinks, refined sugar, artificial sweeteners and colors, and eat less processed food, right? We're going to choose instead to eat food, fruits and vegetables, organic lean proteins, omega-3 fatty acids, and drink plenty of water, right? And so, it's a simple solution. And now, one of my favorite topics, right? Oops, excuse me, I just jumped up. How do we get our sugar cravings under control? Well, one of the easiest ways to begin your journey towards less sugar involves using essential oils to help retrain your brain to curb the cravings, right? Which is generated by the chemistry in your body, and to help revitalize your life, right? Amazing research is done concerning cravings and essential oils. And once you understand the properties and benefits of essential oils and what they have to offer, you are ready to incorporate them into your daily routine, right? When you are working really hard to eat the right food, to stay vigilant and avoid sabotage opportunities, essential oils can help make things a little easier. And so we're going to talk about a couple of main areas, right? Digestion, metabolism, mood, right? And so we'll start with healthy digestion, right? There is a wide variety of essential oils that help support digestive health. Just pick one, right? Whether it's cassia, cinnamon, cumin, fennel, ginger, right? These are things that, we know are really soothing to our digestive tract. Poor digestion can keep us from properly absorbing vitamins and minerals, right? So then all the really good food that I'm eating, I'm not actually absorbing. And so I'm still having all these cravings, right? When we, eat and don't absorb our food, our glucose levels go off, and that can affect your sugar cravings, right? Having poor digestion can make you uncomfortable and downright miserable, making it even more difficult to stick with your goal, right? When you're craving or when you're cranky, your stomach is upset, you just want comfort food. It doesn't matter if long-term it's not good for you. In the short term, I want to feel better, right? There's very unique chemical constituents inside these oils that help promote healthy digestion. And so they can be a great tool for aiding in the digestive process, right? With motivation, mood, right? Using an essential oil, diffusing it, right? Breathing it in helps you move oils. That oil chemistry is being absorbed into the limbic brain, which is responsible for memory, mood, and emotion, right? And so, much of the controlling of sugar relates to motivation and mood, right? If you feel sluggish or you lack enthusiasm, it can be really hard to stick with your intentions. Maybe you feel down, discouraged, unmotivated, and find it really challenging to say no to the sweet treats that make you feel comforted, right? When you take these internally, or sometimes diffusing them aromatically, they might give you this energetic boost that you're looking for. Particularly my favorites are the citrus oils and peppermint. I just happen to really love a tangerine or wild orange combined with a peppermint. It's just a great boost, right? But we can use all sorts of oils to help uplift us, to energize us, to soothe our emotions and keep us on kind of an emotional balance. I also want to talk about a healthy metabolism, right? Our metabolic rate is these chemical reactions in the body that break down food and turn it into energy, right? And so your metabolism is how well are you doing that? How well are you taking the food and creating energy, right? Do you rely on sugar to create that quick energy, or are you using, you know, substantial proteins and the right fats to help fuel your engine, right? There are so many different essential oils that help with a healthy metabolism. We're going to go into a bunch of them right now. The first one I want to start with is black pepper, right? It has quite a few constituents that help with a healthy metabolism. One of them is beta-carotenin. It's called BCP, and it helps to, you know, kind of counteract any pathogens that might be in your digestive system. And it also helps us manage our inflammatory response. So that's a really good thing to keep us happy. It also has limonene. Limonene is something that's generally found in citrus oils. That's where we get, you know, the happier moods and the burst of energy. And, you know, black pepper has limonene in it as well, right? So this is a really good essential oil to get started with. It's nothing like black pepper, the seasoning that you would kind of sprinkle on your food. It's definitely an oil that I use very frequently. It's also a great antioxidant. It protects you by boost of your immune system and, you know, promotes that healthy inflammatory response. It's pretty good side benefits, wouldn't you say? All right, so what's next in our healthy metabolism, right? So let's talk a little bit about grapefruit, right? What does it offer us? It offers us support for healthy metabolism and also promotes healthy hormones. Remember, like all of those, the craving and reward system that we've generated is all controlled by our hormones, right? And so making sure that we have the right balance will support your intention to eliminate or reduce sugar. But the great part is we have some side benefits, right? Grapefruit will help increase your motivation. It's an oil that helps uplift your mood, and it can also be really good with healthy weight management. Just, you know, a drop or two of grapefruit in your water every day is a world of good to help you. So what's next? So we have lime. Lime also supports healthy metabolism, and it, when taken internally, it actually helps support healthy blood sugar levels. So you don't have those big highs and lows where you crash and start craving sugars. And some of the side benefits are that it helps maintain healthy cholesterol levels when it's already in a normal range. We also have fennel. Fennel is one of my favorites to use when I have a sweet tooth craving, right? I'll just take a tiny drop on my finger and rub it on my gum, either the bottom gum or the top gum. And it has a particular constituent that is distinctly sweet. That's why they call it sweet fennel, right? It can taste 13 times stronger, but it doesn't have the same side effect that sugar is going to have. Right? So you could put a drop of fennel in your tea or in your water. You could do like I do and rub it on your gum, or you could put it in a veggie cap and you could take it. The side benefits are, you know, a large number. Let's put it that way, right? It's good for indigestion. It helps, you know, with your monthly cycles if you're a woman. Right, supports the lung and the respiratory tract. It promotes a healthy liver function. It promotes healthy circulation. I mean, what is it that this oil doesn't do, right? I love using fennel. So what else? We have Slim and Sassy, which is called our Metabolic Blend. It's a combination of 5 different essential oils that helps manage hunger cravings, right? You take this internally and it can help calm the stomach, promote a positive mood, and help you to control your appetite and suppress that desire to overeat. I absolutely love this blend. Cinnamon is also known to help normalize our blood sugar levels, right? Peppermint is an appetite suppressant when you put it under your tongue. Ginger is a digestive aid, and then lemon and grapefruit help detoxify the body and manage our mood. So what a wonderful combination of oils. Slim and Sassy also has a family, right? It's part of, you know, the trim shake helps control stress-induced appetite, right? Notice how sometimes stress, the cortisol that gets released in your bloodstream actually makes you crave carbs, right? And sugar is a form of carbohydrate. And, you know, one simple way to do this is to make sure you're taking a trim shake every single day, right? I combine mine with Terra greens, right? As ginger, lemon, and peppermint essential oils already in it. It's a combination of soluble and insoluble fibers, all your greens, grasses, and fruits. And it kind of like a scoop I put in my trim shake. I combine it with one of my favorite fruits, some coconut milk, blend it up with an immersion blender, and that's what I eat for breakfast every day, right? We also have, you know, soft gels and a gum that, you know, helps you to curb appetite on the spot. So, you know, just get in and try some of the Slim and Sassy family of products. They're really amazing. Okay. One of my other favorites that helps us manage, you know, how we metabolize specifically fat and glucose, right, is the turmeric. And turmeric soft gels have this increased antioxidant capacity in our body, cardiovascular, liver health. It's neuroprotective, right? It preserves your brain function, and it promotes healthy cellular, immune, and nervous system health. I'm like, I just absolutely love all the side benefits that come along with some of the products that we use to help us manage our sugar cravings. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, what actually happens, right? And so, you know, we have a lot of different organs, the brain, the stomach, the pancreas, they interact, and there are different hormones that are being released all the time that are in reaction to a change in, let's say, stimuli, all right? And so, you know, we're gonna have, ghrelin is something that makes us hungry, and we release a lot of ghrelin when we're stressed out, right? And then leptin is the anti-ghrelin, right? It's there to modulate how much ghrelin is in the body. And so how much leptin helps us control our appetite for carbohydrates. And then the pancreas is gonna, you know, release insulin when there's too much blood sugar, right? So it's gonna try to pull all that excess sugar out of the blood and put it in a place that won't hurt you, right? But, you know, long-term, you know, insulin and cortisol is, you know, fluctuations, you know, all this is about hormone balance. And so we want to get that under control, right? Even, you know, sometimes influenced by what's going on in the thyroid. So here's a great way to, you know, kind of help that glucose output, increase the uptake of what's in the bloodstream, right? And lower that inflammatory response. I just absolutely love yarrow palm, right? And yarrow palm doesn't do any of these things by itself. It actually helps your body produce adiponectin, which is the key to managing glucose, managing fat accumulation, and increasing energy, right? Isn't that the end game? You want to feel more energetic and not have a lot of, you know, excess fat and excess sugar in your body. So some simple solutions, right? So just simply diffuse grapefruit when a craving hits. Maybe you could, you know, pop a drop in your water and, you know, help. Like water will also help some of the cravings, but definitely avoid some of those sugary drinks and the sodas. And, you know, use wild orange, put it in your palms, put it in your diffuser for this energizing boost, right? I absolutely love to use, you know, some of the citrus oils in my water rather than grabbing some of those, you know, sugary drinks and sodas. Another simple solution is to take the Slim and Sassy, right? Slim and Sassy, you could either, you know, use the oil form, or they put the oil in a soft gel to make it easier to pop a drop. And, you know, you're going to have all of the same benefits of Slim and Sassy without any of the fuss or muss. Now, sometimes, right, we have a sugar craving and we need immediate support. And so there's a famous study by Dr. Alan Hirsch who found that peppermint oil is an effective craving suppressor, right? And so this blend, thank you to Dr. Marissa Snyder, grapefruit, lemon, and peppermint combined in your palm or in your diffuser, right? And, you know, just breathe it in for instant support, right? It's a lifesaver for anyone who's really looking to avoid, you know, kind of the sabotage where you're like, oh, I just really want that piece of chocolate after lunch, right? Like that's, you know, after I finish eating lunch or dinner, sometimes I just have this incredible craving for something sweet. And, you know, just putting the fennel on my gum, smelling some of these essential oils that help kind of reduce those cravings is so good for me. And I hope you'll try it and like it too. Okay. So I do want to talk about some foundations of what you can do, right? And so, like, whenever we're trying to modify our diet, it's about portion control, right? Eating healthy foods in the proper quantities rather than, you know, overloading the body in a single sitting, right? And so if you eat throughout the day the right amounts, you'll reduce the sugar highs and lows. Planning ahead is important because, you know, sometimes we get to the point where we're so hungry and we just like, I'll just grab anything, right? A processed food that maybe has a lot of sugar in it because I don't want to wait the 20 minutes or 40 minutes to actually cook something healthy. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I'm just like so famished. So don't let that happen, right? Plan ahead, make sure your meals are available. They're going to be quick and easy. And, you know, this will help you to avoid the processed foods, which all of the processed foods are designed to add sugar so that it makes it tastier, right? So it's kind of hidden. Remember, it's that sneaky sugar. So replace some of your standards, right? So replace that morning pastry or that bagel with, like, you know, some fresh fruit and some nuts, right? Eat healthy proteins, lean proteins at every single meal, right? You want to steer yourself to maybe avocados and olives and coconut oil rather than some of the other unhealthier fats, right? And eat something nutritious before you turn to sugar. And hopefully that'll, you know, satisfy your body for what it's looking for. And then, you know, for me, it's doing that green smoothie, right, with phytonutrients. You need your greens, your grasses, your fruits, and some vegetables in there. And it's a perfectly balanced meal. One of the other things that is, you know, helpful to most people is that you want to manage stress, right? Like controlling sugar, you know, that hormone that gets released that makes us crave carbohydrates, right, is all about managing cortisol. And so, you know, my two favorites are Adaptive and Balance, right? These are just wonderful additions to my daily routine to help me manage stress. And then, you know, again, gratitude to Dr. Marissa Snyder for a combination of essential oils that help support the thyroid so that we have, you know, better hormone levels, right? That they're not working against me when I'm trying to manage, like, you know, what's going on with my pancreas and my insulin and all these other glands, right? The thyroid controls all the glands, right? So now we know why we shouldn't do it. We have lots of great ideas of how to do it. And what are you going to do with all that extra sugar in your house, right? So make a sugar scrub, right? This is a recipe that was shared with me by my friend Paulette Agolia. This is just a great thing to do with all that sugar that's left in your house that you're not going to eat anymore, right? And so, you know, you combine some of the sugar with, you know, some of your favorite essential oils and some vitamin E, and, you know, and if you use the grapefruit, now you're going to have, you know, that same gift for the healthy metabolism, the healthier mood, and a toxic cleansing right there in a sugar scrub. If you're not a DIY queen like me, well, doTERRA makes an essential oil sugar scrub, right? And so it has wild orange, grapefruit, ginger. It's a natural sugar cane that's very gentle on the skin. And it's just a great way, just get what you need, right? Finally, I just wanted to talk about, your attitude towards what you want to do, or if you truly do want to eliminate sugar or at a minimum reduce it, right? It's an imperfect progress, but just slow steps of progress. Wrap yourself in grace. Be gentle and kind to yourself, right? Make a goal that says I'm going to reduce it in half, and then maybe go a step further, right? Like, just be kind to yourself along the way. I have lots and lots of additional resources for people who really want to try to do this. Sometimes we help people by starting with a wellness detox. It's a 30-day program. You buy the products, I coach you for free, right? I'm happy to send you the recipe for the thyroid support blend, the different ways to curb sugar cravings, and how to help have a healthy glucose level in your body, right? So all you have to do is fill out this sample, right? It's my way of knowing how to contact you so that I can send you what you need, right? You can just text me or email me or hit me up on social media, right? I love being able to support you in whatever your goal is. Now, this is the Empowered Living series that I do. It's called Tuesday at 2 with Terri. And so, going forward, we're going to have kind of like rotating topics, right? And so the first Tuesday will always be dedicated to an essential oil basic topic, like, how do I use them? Where do I put them? Like, which ones can I take internally? What's the chemistry, right? The second Tuesday will be about daily routines. Third Tuesday will be creative uses and maybe some DIYs, diffuser blends, and different things that you can do to make it fun. And then the fourth Tuesday, I'm going to dedicate to answering your questions. And so for the people that join me live, we'll be able to answer your questions and create protocols on the fly. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm grateful for your presence and hope this was helpful to you. Okay. Bye, everyone.